Well, you know, at the Bullring Shopping Centre, there's a smile on every face, and the moment that you enter, you find it's a friendly place. There's a bit that goes, no, famous outdoor market, come by bus or come by car. There's a place where you can park it. If only Morton Harkett had been in the news then.
Oh, yeah.
But it's before his time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There probably isn't a place where you can park the car now. It's probably overwhelmed with...
Well, someone will probably mind your car, but that's another story.
Yeah, you can park your car, but it'll be upside down and on fire when you come out the market.
But it costs you as well. Do you remember people never paid for parking?
I wish I had the theme tune to the Last of the Summer Wine on my bank of jingles, but I don't.
You could park anywhere, too. You used to drive to King's Road and leave your car there.
My mate's dad used to park on some waste ground at the back of Dewsbury swimming baths.
I didn't know anyone who had a car, I'll be honest with you.
Frank, when he first came to London, this is honestly true, isn't it, Frank? He didn't know that you could actually drive into London.
I thought it was pedestrianised.
So he parked at...
I parked in Colindale.
Colindale, because it was like the end of the tube line.
Can we start the podcast soon? Well, people don't want to hear about our parking reminiscences.
We have pressed record, haven't we?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have.
I was quite enjoying that.
Let's take a breath. Hello, and welcome to the Not the Midweek podcast. I'm Frank Skinner. I am with Alan Cochrane. Oh, it's a bit tardy this morning, the cockerel.
Still half asleep.
And I'm with Emily Jean.
That's not my name. Frank, that doesn't work.
Well,
Emily Dear.
Emily Dear, nearly. Emily...
I need to get a proper theme tune.
We don't have a jingle for you. I'm gonna... that would be a great thing if people could send in...
Yeah.
What would be the right jingle for
I'd like that.
She's called Emily Dean. See, I thought about the Dean and I by, you know...
Then.
Yeah, what were they called? The ones who did Robber Bullet... come on, Godly and Cream and Godly.
Oh, Godly and Cream.
Yeah,
okay.
no, what was the name of the band?
10cc.
10cc, thank you. Sorry, my God. There's actually a fine trail of blood coming out of each of my ears. Is that right?
We never thought we'd look back on the parking conversation fondly so soon.
No, it's turned out to be the jewel in the crown of this podcast. Yeah, it was all right. To me, it was downhill after the parking conversation.
Yeah.
Back at Dewsbury Baths.
Yeah.
I think they'll like the Colindale touch, personally. Yeah. So, Frank.
So,
You've had a few spots of bother this week.
Well, I had a strange experience. I was reading emails from my smartphone as I walked along the south bank of the Thames, right? And as I read the emails, and I was still perambulatory. I was moving, and there's a lot of discarded chewing gum stains on the pavement there.
Oh yeah,
and. They're formed as, if you can imagine, a sort of a monochrome Damien Hirst dots type pattern along the pavement. So as I read the emails in my near vision, behind me was these moving trail of dots, and I got a bit bilious.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Were the dots strobing a bit?
They were, as I walked along, and I wasn't focused on them, so they were taking in a magic eye background thing, and I actually got a bit dizzy.
Oh.
You got lightheaded.
Chewing gum nausea.
I had to stop and just compose myself. I mean, can you believe it? How wimpy have I become?
Yeah.
I love that.
And then I did that thing. I was in my flat. I was going upstairs in my flat. Yes, I've got stairs in my flat. I've got international representation. Get over it. And as I came down the stairs...
It's cold up those stairs.
Do you ever do that thing when you slightly... No,
it's
not
penthouse.
maisonette.
It's a penthouse.
Yeah,
is it?
Yes, it's a penthouse.
Yeah, but the top area, there's only one room up there, really, Frank.
Lovely.
It's very cold up there.
Yes. At least you've been to my house. Can I say I've never been to yours?
No.
What about that?
I've only been in there 6 weeks.
I'm imagining... Emily's got a sort of a Miss Havisham thing going on at her place, terrible.
Imagine away, you're never coming round after that comment.
I know, wedding cake covered in spiders. So anyway, I was going up the stairs. Do you ever get this? You're probably going to say no, it made me feel worse. When you're going either up or downstairs and you just slightly lose your rhythm.
Yeah.
On the stairs and whoa, I had one of those terrible moments. I nearly fell down the, dare I say it, the goddamn stairs at my own house. Imagine if I'd been found at the bottom like Laura Ashley.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, that would. What would they have said? What would the headline have been in the papers? Do you think?
Well, it's I have no anticipation that this is a horrible story. In my younger days, I was having a liaison with a lady, and having visited her, I was about to leave, and she sort of twisted at the top of her stairs, and in front of me fell backwards down them, and at the bottom of the stairs just sort of stayed there in a kind of a like. It wasn't that much of a leap of imagination to draw a white line around the shin.
Oh, blimey.
She was fine, thankfully. But for a split second, I thought, if she has now broken her neck...
It wouldn't have looked good.
It would not have looked good. It would have looked bad. Like, downright bad.
And did you think, I'd better phone an ambulance, or did you think, if she's dead, I'm out of here?
Yeah, I am dusting the whole flat.
Really? You'd have left her there.
Get me a J-cloth and some bleach. I'm going round here and then I'm going. No, I never thought that far, I'd just like to say.
Yeah, sure you did. I bet you was already thinking, what have I got in the boot?
Yeah.
How much room have I got in the boot?
Yeah, start running through. Did anybody see me come in here?
That is
it was really scary.
But it's a grim story.
Just falling down the stairs is scary. Not that long ago, I slipped on my foot and stumbled down like 2 or 3 steps in a hotel,
it's horrible,
like quite a wide open.
Were there people watching?
I felt like the reception staff had seen me, and by the time I got to the bottom of the stairs, the adrenaline. It was coursing through my system.
But I think,
as you know, I have barely any.
No, I know. But the stairs, I think, are seen as generally as dangerous amongst the middle-aged. But I mean, a chewing gum pavement, you wouldn't normally think
you'd be safe.
But it really made me genuinely.
And you're only walking
dizzy.
and reading an email. Just imagine if you'd been jogging and faxing.
Oh, well, I mean, that's why I got rid of that leopard skin treadmill. I think that would have pushed me
Peter
over
Stringfellow's got it now.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
That's what I heard.
He's stripped it right down to one thin strip right down the middle there. Yeah, it's more tightrope walking than jogging he does on it. Oh,
Funny
that'd
moment,
be.
though, isn't it? Feeling wimpy. I once leapt out of bed to... I may well have told you this already. I leapt out of bed to greet a day, and the corner of a duvet poked me in the eye. And I was staggering around the house.
Did you sort of glide out rather than go upright?
I sort of flicked the...
Oh, I see.
Like, jumping out of bed. I was so happy to greet a morning. I can't remember why. But it got me right, and it was pouring with water. Oh. And I remember thinking, I'm going to end up with a black eye here. Thankfully I didn't, because it would have been awful telling people, no, I'm not into boxing or kickboxing. I did it on the corner of a duvet.
I can't tell you how many times I've lay in bed pouring with water. I mean, that's why I stopped drinking in the end. So you were hoisted by your own petard, didn't you? I mean, it was your swishing of the duvet that did it.
Yeah, I've stopped greeting a day with such jubilation.
Yeah, well,
that's for sure.
Gabrielle switched to a sleeping bag after her accident. She wasn't going to risk that again, apparently.
I once saw a man in the streets of Brighton, which is ostentatiously trendy, isn't it, Brighton? And a man in the lanes walked towards me wearing an eye patch, and for a split second I thought, are they trendy here? Or has he got a damaged eye?
No, it's a bit of a Village People vibe going on there, I think.
I think it may have been a damaged eye.
Oh, okay.
The jury's still out, I suppose. If it is a fashion thing, you'd have to alternate eyes, wouldn't you? Just for the good of long term.
Well, I don't know. No, with an eye patch, my way has always been pick your eye and stick with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
And I've been known to wear a bejewelled eye patch.
Not on long drives, presumably.
No, but certainly on the rifle range. I wouldn't think twice about it.
That would work, wouldn't it?
I sometimes find when I'm changing sheets, not cleaning windows, when I'm changing sheets...
When I'm changing sheets would have been a great
song.
It was the first draft, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First draft.
It don't quite scan, does it, Dave? Oh, no, I'm happy with it, George. Well, when sheet, it ends too flat. Sheet? What about something...
And the rhymes would have been an issue as well.
Well, yeah.
But when I'm changing sheets, I do find I find it very exhausting and quite upsetting because it's so tiring. I have to have a little sit down in between each element. So once I've done, I always save the pillows to last. Because I just think if you do that first, that's kind of instant gratification.
Do you plump?
That's my... Oh, I plump. Plump massively. But I wait. I leave the pillows last. If you put them on first, you've got to get the nasty jobs out the way with. The worst job is duvet cover. And I've upgraded to a super king size now.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I didn't know there was a super king size. You must have a massive overlap. But then I've often thought that. I find that my duvet, after about 2 days on, it huddles into one end of the cover.
Oh.
Yes, it does do that.
You've got a huddler.
Yeah, so I end up just sleeping under linen.
Yeah.
Basically. Or under the biggest lump.
And have you got a system for the duvet on? Do you turn it inside out?
She's called Gosia.
Oh, really?
She's my Polish cleaner.
The staff.
Inside out is good.
But
always save those pillows to last. Always. But it's it's tiring. It can take a long time. Sometimes I like to do it myself. The cleaner shouldn't have to do it all the time.
At least
come
5
on.
or 6 minutes of physical activity.
As my dad used to say to my mother, I don't keep dogs to bark myself. She took it surprisingly well. Have we heard from the outside world?
We have. We've had an email in, Frank, and this is from Emma. We've been talking about beds, and this is actually a bedtime-related email.
Oh,
it says,
I love it when we theme.
Love a theme. Hi, Frank. Just had a brainwave that will solve your bedtime reading disputes. Why don't you learn
Well, I should
Braille?
point out before we move on that I like to read in bed, for ages, and my girlfriend reads for about 43 seconds, and then she moans about the fact I've got the reading light on because it keeps her awake. That's a bit of a new reader start here moment. What does Emma suggest?
Emma's suggesting you learn Braille. Then you can read all you like without disturbing anyone's sleep. Love the show. Love, Emma.
It's a great idea. Unfortunately, I sleep in 10 rubber counting thimbles like you get in post offices. So I don't think... so I can go up the wall like a cat in the middle of the night to the toilet.
If you do it, you can't drop off, can you?
I just have those things when you're out if you touch the carpet. Do you ever do that around the bedroom? You have to step from the bedside table to the bed and then then you have to hold on to the sort of curtain rail and slide across. Do you ever do that?
No.
Okay. I always imagine that Braille is sort of, how can I put this? That you don't get everything with Braille, because it would be a big job putting all the little... So I wonder if they simplify it. And I think so say if you were reading Wordsworth's Lucy poems, and, and the poem is, she dwelt among the untrodden ways beside the springs of Dove, a maiden there was none to praise and very few to love. In Braille, it would say, there was this girl. And that's what I think. See, I mean, I watch subtitles on films once, and I think, well, that's a very short subtitle for all that talking. And I think I think Brian is a sort of a subtitle, isn't he?
I'm not sure it's the same people in charge, though.
No.
Of the subtitle in the telly and the Braille.
Yeah.
If it is, then there's been a mistake administration-wise.
And also, when I get very tired, I'm liable to accidentally read some sections of my own chest.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem.
Yeah. And I wouldn't, but it's I think someone has suggested it in the past. I mean, at the moment, I just read and argue. We've arrived at that thing. But I am still looking for the...
Can you not just stay up and go to bed a bit later?
Well, I have thought about doing that, but
perhaps read in an armchair. Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit Cyril from That's Life. Don't like that.
Esther. Yeah, it's never quite as much fun as reading in bed for some reason.
Right.
But I have been thinking about the possibility of reading until I'm really tired.
Yeah.
And then going to bed.
Get the old MC Hammer shorts on, pants, the pantaloons.
Oh, they're always on.
You could be very comfortable in a chair.
You're right. I could.
Perhaps a big beanbag somewhere near the bedroom.
You know, I love a beanbag.
Do you?
I do. If it was up to me, we'd have no hard furnishings in our house. We'd just have beanbags.
Just a squatter beanbag.
Oh, yeah.
Frank, I saw a tweet this week that gave me a lovely little sort of shot of Schadenfreude. I enjoyed it enormously.
Okay.
It was regarding Stuart Broad. I don't know if you might not be aware of this, Alan, but he's quite a big deal in my house.
Just in case anyone's listening who isn't a cricket enthusiast, Stuart Broad is a...
very hot.
Yeah, he's probably the best looking of the English cricketers.
And he gave me a bat
I'm not a
once.
cricket enthusiast, but I know that. Even I know
Yeah, he's a
that
tall,
is
blonde,
considered
handsome man, fast bowler, and quite
Is
a
he?
good batsman as well.
Is he?
Oh.
He gave me a bat once.
Well,
He did.
I've heard some terms for it.
I was just about to say, is that a euphemism?
Thank God she didn't say occupying the crease.
He gave me a bat, and I've got that bat.
Ah, signed?
Absolutely. He used a Sharpie.
I've heard that.
It's getting very Chris Moyles today.
It is, isn't it? I must fight it. Once I get into the carry-on mode, I can't...
I don't help.
No.
Yeah.
Let me just get it out of my system. I'm back.
I've got a carry-on mode on my iPhone. Well, it's airplane mode, but it's carry on luggage. Nearly.
Yeah, no, it needs it needs a bit of work. Maybe we could
I
workshop
had
it
to
later.
think about it a lot,
Yeah,
but I
that's the
liked
problem.
it.
That is
Yeah,
the
you
problem.
don't want a joke that comes with 3 footnotes.
So anyway, this tweet that I saw,
Yes.
it said someone had spotted Stuart Broad. And they
Exciting.
said, someone just asked Stuart Broad where the 34 longs are in the jeans section at Selfridges. His "do you know who I am" face was priceless. Well, to be fair to Stuart, I mean, that's never a great moment. Not because there's any shame in working in a shop, but in
No.
fact, that would have been my chosen career had this not panned out on the old-fashioned front.
Is that right?
Yeah. I worked in the Gap, you know that, in my early years. I was a greeter.
I used to be the night watchman at the Gap. Mind the Gap, that was my... job.
I was still on a bit carry on. I was thinking I worked in the Gap in my early years as well.
No, but to be fair though, but Stuart Broad...
Yeah.
I think the 34 longs, he does look like a bloke who wears he's a very
Yes.
long-legged man, so it might
Is
have
he?
just been...
Oh,
it might
yes,
have
I
just
can
been,
confirm.
You'll know where the longer jean... Or maybe he just got me... he thought longs, broad... it got into a sort of dimensions frenzy and got completely mixed up. What if his name was Stuart Wide? That'd be a terrible name for a bowler.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know, I did...
If he'd said to me, "Where's the 34 longs?" I think you want the awful counter. I haven't counted them, but there's quite a heap.
Quite a Uriah, as I say.
Oh, yeah.
I think the thing is, though, sometimes in a shop, you see, this happens to me a lot, which is why I sympathise, people always think I work in the shop.
Do they?
Yes.
Really?
It happens to me, I'd say, once a fortnight.
Do you take this as a compliment?
Well, yeah, because I think I walk around with such a sense of ownership. I mean, Kathy, I've been shopping with your girlfriend, and she says, do that thing you do with the hangers. I wasn't even aware I did it. But apparently I don't just look at clothes. I sort of push them aggressively, the hangers, to one side, like I'm inspecting a fashion rail, because that's what I do at work.
I
You just
see.
push them like that. So,
See, I'm surprised though, because you are you're a woman who has you have a sense of status about you. And I mean this is the nicest possible way. I would never. I'd always think you were a rich customer, not someone who worked there.
But
But you're
often
taken to wearing a name badge when shopping. Is that what
in
it
a
is?
ladies' clothes shop, it does happen. I'm wanting a size 8. Aren't we all, dear?
And how do you? Well,
I
me
say-
too.
Oh.
How do you handle it? Do you play along?
How
or
do you think I handle
Do you say how
it?
dare you?
I say, no, I just say, well, they'll say, can I take these 5 items into the changing room? I don't care. Take a troupe of Brazilian dancers if you like. No, I say, I don't work here.
Oh dear.
Oh.
You see, I'd
stern.
be inclined to say, well, you can, but you have to take that fire extinguisher as well, and then just see what happens. Yeah, no one has. I think on one occasion I used to work. I used to occasionally shop in Past Times. Do you know that?
Oh, I
place?
love Pastimes.
Where they sell all the old
Yeah.
And I was in there and someone came up to me and said, do you sell Victorian asylum restraining straps? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't work here. And they said, well, hey, why the frock coat? And I just...
You sure that's what they said? Why the frock coat?
I think they said that, and I just cocked a snook.
No.
You see, you don't look like you work. If I had to say...
That's it, you don't look like
you
you
look
work.
like you work full
No,
stop.
I don't look that much.
I think if I had to say, what shop would you work at? You see, I see Alun. I think you'd be waiter in health food store, maybe.
Oh, do you
I
really?
look healthy.
Or, oh no, I've got it more, actually. This isn't really a shop. You're more lab technician in a school, I think.
No.
Yeah,
See,
you are.
I can see him in a hardware store.
Oh, Frank, you're right.
Yes,
He is.
I can see him showing me a selection of drill bits.
I like how misrepresented I have been here. I don't know. Occasionally I get asked where the toilets are in a comedy club if I've worn a dark shirt and I'm wandering about. Again, it's that sense of ownership, I guess. And sometimes people will say, excuse me, do you know where the toilets are? And I'll think, well, I know where mine is because I'm backstage. I'm not with you, but I do tell them. I tell them.
But does that mean that they think you work there? Because I
Yeah.
will ask anyone where the toilets are.
Oh, right. No, I think they
I
think
don't
I work there.
look for staff.
Oh, I think they think I work there, yeah.
Okay.
I think quite often they do.
What, in a toilet-based capacity? do you think?
Yeah, I'm the toilet cleaner.
Have you been travelling with that bucket and mop again as a general prop?
No, I don't know why it is that, but I don't often get asked in clothes shop. But I think it's quite flattering in a way. Like Stuart Broad, if he's being asked where the 34 longs
are.
It's basically someone saying you have picked appropriate clothing for the shop you're in. Perhaps his casual outfit is very Selfridges where he's shopping. That's a good thing, isn't it? Surely.
I see it as a positive.
Isn't their uniform a sort of brown nylon overall?
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I got asked in McDonald's,
Yeah.
you know, do you still sell the filet-o fish? They said to me.
And do they?
I said, look, I'm detoxing. That's why I've got bad skin.
Well, you did have the brown Cadfael hoodie on.
I did, yeah.
That's why, Frank.
Oh, I was down with the bros,
And an
as we
employee.
say at the monastery.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you wear the brown hoodie to church, the people ask you for directions to the chairs. I nearly said chairs there. No, not chairs. What are they called?
Oh,
What
the
are they-
pews.
Pews,
Yeah,
that's
the
the one.
pews.
Oh, God, I tell you, these people, the time is right for Ant and Dick's
These people.
Grim Revolution.
We've had an email in with Dear Frank, Emily and the Cockerel. Still happy to hear that. I love your use of the cockerel sound effect to introduce Alan every week, spelt with a U. Very good.
Yeah.
This sound effect reminds me of a conversation I regularly have with my French girlfriend about the bilingual nature of animals. Now, is there a suspicion of a boast there, my French girlfriend? Very good. Exotic. Good work. Good
Bit
work.
70s having a French
but
girlfriend.
they've already reached the stage where they're talking about the bilingual nature of animals.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I love about the French.
Maybe le passion.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't know. I don't speak any French.
L'amour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
On c'est l'amour.
Very, anyway, we'll go back to the bilingual nature of animals. For example, ducks in the UK can be heard in many parks announcing their presence with the familiar quack quack capitals.
I can verify that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Fact. However, these migratory birds have learned that they will get no bread in France unless they speak the native language. So in France, they holler quan quan.
So does that mean that if you were writing a children's book, say in
I think that's
France,
what he's referring to.
so the ducks would say quan quan quan.
Croix, croix. Yeah.
I can see that. I imagine French ducks do go quan quan quan.
It's all a Gallic shrug, isn't it?
Yeah, quan. You know when you see geese going over, and you hear the sounds, and they've all got a slightly different going over the top. It's terrifying. Am I the only one who's ever heard that?
I don't think I've heard many geese in my time. But anyway,
I'm starting to think the neighbour must be asthmatic.
Yeah.
There are no geese.
He goes on to point out, lo and behold, the familiar cockerel's cock-a-doodle-doo is replaced with kakiriku.
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 Kakiriku, wasn't he in Happy Days?
Since the
Kakariko, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Kakariko.
Yeah, since these birds are not migratory, I can only assume they are true French cockerels and not bilingual.
Oh.
Well, of course, it is the symbol of the French,
Yes.
Oh, so they would be right, wouldn't they? Neither are cows who mare instead of moo.
They
or
mare.
dogs which wah wah wah.
Mare
instead
is
of
sheep,
woof, woof, woof.
surely, isn't it?
No, it's instead of
No,
moo.
he says cows mare.
Don't you
M-E-R.
think mare is more sheep? Mare.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, sheep were the early internet people where they say it's all a bit meh. Meh.
And quiet sounds. That's just an English dog with a guitar, isn't it? Quiet.
That's how Gok Kwan trained his ducks to speak.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I thought of that.
Maybe they're saying Gok Kwan.
Why would they be saying that?
I don't know. They're fashion ducks.
Perhaps they're
So
a
they
bit
do-
chubby.
you
Ducks
see-
are a fatty birds. Maybe they need Gokwan in their life.
Yeah, and also a dog going, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
That's a dog being caned,
Yeah.
isn't it? I don't know if you've ever seen a dog being caned.
No.
They can
You see,
get
I've
quite
always
aggressive.
suspected animals do have accents. That doesn't surprise me, really. Don't you think? When you go somewhere else, they're a bit... I always think they're a bit funny, the other animals. I don't like them as
Well,
much.
presumably they don't.
Turkish dogs, awful.
Yeah, is that right? Well, and how they keep those fezzes on, I don't know. No, I imagine that certainly they must respond to the language. If you spoke as a French dog, it wouldn't be familiar with your
Yeah.
tones. I know they don't know the words, but when they'd be used to they'd just hear and they'd get what that meant.
I wonder if French dogs are actually looking at you like, I could speak English to you, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are quite snooty. A different attitude.
I've never seen a dog shrug, though. I think I used to own a dog shrug. I found it a bit tight under the armpits. I think they might have left the elbows in.
We should say, by the way, that was from Gary Wells.
Oh, should we?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Gary
Well,
Wells.
give him credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you think he was known as Tonbridge at school?
probably.
Yeah, wishing, maybe.
If he'd gone to my school, he'd have been known as Wellsy. Because
Yeah.
everybody got a E near enough.
If he'd gone to my school, he'd be known as that weird kid that talks about animals all the time.
Yeah.
And he'd have been bullied accordingly.
That will one day get a French girlfriend.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think that probably happens to all the kids who are bullied at school as they get payback time.
Yeah.
Look at Susan Boyle, millionaire. That's fair enough. So, as we move towards the end of the show, what else? What else have we got in the
we do,
bag?
but not before mentioning, very topical for you here, the Queen Mother's recipe book. Well,
Has
actually,
it been discovered?
well, there are two royal stories that I'd like to address. The first that I enjoyed this week was the Queen's advertised for a butler. She put it online and everything.
I'm amazed they advertise in public like that.
Yeah.
I'd have thought it'd all be a friend of a friend.
It needs the highest standards, the butler, in the service of wine, food, valeting and messenger duties.
Messenger
weird.
duties.
I don't like the sound of that. That sounds a bit sinister.
Yeah, what
It sounds like a mule. I don't like that at all. But
I couldn't do it. It's not for me.
you couldn't do it.
It's not for me. I'm just not.
15 grand a year live in.
I like the idea. I always get the impression with the bottler type. 15 grand a year?
Live in. No bills, though, in fairness.
And in fairness,
And the
it's
run of the place.
probably a nice house.
Yeah, I imagine. Don't you ever think this with a bottler, that most of their life is spent, like, just sitting in the kitchen, chatting,
Yeah.
having a bit of cake and a cup of tea. Only that moment when the bell goes, do they actually have to do anything
Yeah.
proper. That appeals to me. It's like sort of a less dangerous version of being a fireman.
Yeah.
It's mainly sitting about.
Or a film extra or something.
yeah.
Like that, yeah.
I think you'd be quite good, Frank. I can see
Oh, yeah.
you ironing the paper and running the house.
Well, I'm very discreet.
I think you are the soul of discretion, actually. I think you'd be good. You're no
Really?
Paul Burrell.
Do you think there would be a point, though, where you couldn't resist wading in with a funny remark as they're at dinner with some
Oh, yeah,
dignitaries?
he'd be doing that all the time.
Well, yeah, I think I'd actually...
But
I'd
put
have to
it
get
this
familiar
way,
first, a little bit.
They could leave... There are very few people that I could leave my phone with and feel they're not going to look at it, and Frank's one of them. I'm just saying that.
What about that?
Well, the Queen will be pleased to hear that on his CV, won't she?
Yeah, but it is true. People tell me, secrets, and I never divulge. I think part of it is just short-term memory loss. But no, I've loose lips sink ships. That's what I grew up with. That slogan. I know. I remember when Mick Jagger was clamped onto the Belgrano.
Oh, and he couldn't get a foothold in those black platform trainers either.
No, luckily he had the oral option. Not a lot of people wouldn't. The Queen Mother's cookbook. I imagine from the look of the Queen Mother that she lived on blackjacks mainly. She had those sort of dark purple teeth.
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly what she liked. She liked after-eight ice cream. That's just Viennetta, though, for posh people, isn't it?
But is it actually after-eight ice cream, or is she putting after-eights mashed up in ice cream or something?
I don't know. I don't know how many martinis have been drunk at that stage.
I don't think she did a lot of mashing.
She was gone long before the confectionery world started tiptoeing into the ice cream world. Even Mars ice cream, surely that's only like the last 5 years, isn't it?
No, she hasn't been dead that long.
Only a couple of years.
Is it?
She was quite... I doubt that she was up after 8. What a nightmare. Come on, Mum, off to bed. It's only 7:30. I just fancy a bit of ice cream. Too late.
Now, Frank, she was also another recipe, Earth's drum kilbo.
What?
Earth's drum kilbo.
Okay.
It's eggs, prawns and lobster and anchovy essence.
Wow.
It's like a prawn cocktail, basically.
What is it again? Eggs?
It's called Earth's drum kilbo.
Earth's.
Don't correct my French. Don't you dare correct my French.
Earth's road kilbo.
Say it like a dog
It's a bit of flat squirrel.
Wow.
These aren't things that she prepared. These are her favourite.
These were her favourite. No, she didn't do preparation herself. That's what she had people like you for. 15k a year live in.
Yeah, apparently when they put it in front of her, she woofed it down. She ward it down. Really?
Thanks. She liked Tipsy Tart.
Well,
yeah.
That's my autobiography title. She this is dates soaked in brandy and then made into a tart formation, essentially.
What does that mean? A tart formation? Put in a plate.
No, they're all put together in a tart setting.
A pastry dish or something.
Exactly.
Like that.
Isn't this just a way of having brandy and like giving her something to suck on? I imagine everything wasn't it all liquidised as well for the Queen Marjorie, as I like to call her?
Oh, possibly in later years, yeah.
No, surely she was still on. I mean, I imagine there was a lot of liquids going in as well, but
she wouldn't. Surely she was past the knife and fork stage. I'm seeing her in a lime green acrylic fibre nose bag. And they're just chomping away.
But even when they're young, they don't need the knife and fork. They've got a staff for that. That's the sort of thing you'd be doing. Spoon feeding.
I don't think they're actually fed, are they?
I think it is a fact that Prince Charles has someone put toothpaste on a brush for him. I mean,
I've heard that said, but surely that's an urban myth.
If you're prepared to allow that, then you'd also be prepared to sit there while someone put your food into your face for you, wouldn't you?
Well, I've already got an electric toothbrush, and to me that's the first rung of the ladder of someone else cleaning your teeth.
I do wonder how they relax living in a palace, because I felt a bit like I couldn't really relax in Edinburgh because the flat had high ceilings. I don't imagine they've got like a low-ceilinged, like a small, cosy living room with...
Oh no, it's no
like,
Playboy
comfy
Mansion in that respect.
No, I think they do. I think they have... some sheets of corrugated plastic set into a lean-to in the corner of the main dining room.
Do you think?
And they sit in there and smoke roll-ups.
But if you've got do you know what I mean, though? If you've got a butler and staff waiting to your every need, it must be quite hard to put your MC Hammer pants on and lie on the couch and get your own crisps and watch telly. It must be weird going, well, I'd quite like to just sit here and not do anything, but there's a bloke standing in the corner with a tuxedo on who, every time I move, offers me something.
Well, that happens to me every night, but that's another story.
You do live with the Chippendales, though, don't you?
I love those little cuffs.
If you spent your whole life socking dates soaked in brandy, I don't think self-consciousness is one of your problems, is it? I think it's unconsciousness you've got to worry about.
Yeah, true enough.
Anyway, God bless the old Queen Marjorie. I look forward. I think we should. Why don't we get the cookbook and have a bit of a make something?
Let's do it.
I thought you were about to say, why don't we get the cookbook and have a dinner party? I was thinking, you can't have any of this.
No, I can't have any. I can't have
not a
the
menu that you
alcohol
could
stuff.
You can
And I'm
have
worried
soup.
about the fishbone in the throat. Oh God, it's happened.
Sorry.
What about the corgi spit roast? I meant rotisserie.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.